Please don't burn me, please don't break. Oh dear, they're breaking. They've all broken. Oh boy. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're cooking again because I found a recipe that I really want to try and I figured I'd film it as well. One of our family's favorite things to do when it is not freezing cold outside is to make s'mores. We love to do s'mores all summer. We grill out and then we make s'mores after dinner. Since going fully gluten-free, I was low gluten for a long time and I finally made the jump to fully gluten-free because my body needed it. I can no longer enjoy the full s'more, which makes me sad, but I found a recipe on Pinterest for gluten-free graham crackers. So I decided I would go ahead and try and make those today and we'll see if they turn out. I've never made these before. I already know I don't have a food processor and the recipe says to use a food processor. So I have the recipe on my phone. So we're going to see how this works. First things first, preheat oven to 350 degrees. Done. Combine dry ingredients. Pulse to combine. If you don't have a food processor, whisk dry ingredients together in a medium mixing bowl. So we need 1.5 cups of brown rice flour. There's half, and 1 and a half. And then we need 1/2 cup of cornstarch. That seems like a lot of cornstarch. That's a lot of cornstarch. There's 1/2 cup. And then we need 1/3 cup of dark brown sugar. I don't have dark brown sugar, I have light brown sugar. But I'm thinking this will just affect the color and not the outcome. Hopefully. Get it in there. Oh. And 1 teaspoon of baking powder. There's 1/2. And 1. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Whoop, that's a little more than half. Whoop, oh well. Now I'm gonna whisk it all together with a whisk. Now it says, add the butter. I need 5 tablespoons of cold butter. Pulse until flour mixture is coarse. Or cut cold butter into flour mixture with a pastry cutter. 2 knives by rubbing the butter between your fingers. Okay, here's 5 tablespoons of butter going in the flour mixture. And then cut the butter. Okay, this is not as easy as it sounds. Okay, this is going to take too long. I'll come back when it's all cut together. Hold on. We're back. I ended up smushing it and mixing it with my hands, and this is what it looks like now. It's very like fine. It's almost kind of like really, really fine breadcrumbs or something. I think they just wanted you to get rid of all the butter clumps. It took a little bit of hand squishing, but I think we're good now. Now I'm supposed to add the milk and the honey and pulse until dough forms, or stir using a wooden spoon. I think I'll stir using a wooden spoon. So I need 6 tablespoons of milk and 3 tablespoons of honey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, and 3. Then I'll mix this until a dough forms. So I think maybe if I just take my hands and pull it together, it'll form a ball, and then I can do whatever the next step is on the instructions. Turn dough out onto a lightly rice-floured piece of parchment paper. Pat dough into a rectangle. I need to find parchment paper and wash my hands. Alright, I cleared off some space on my counter. I put some rice flour down, and then I put the dough down, and I formed it into a rectangle shape, and then I put some more flour on top of it, and put another piece of parchment paper on it. Now I'm supposed to roll it out until it covers the parchment paper or is 1/8 of an inch thick. I have a very small rolling pin, so this might take a few minutes. So I'll come back when I'm finished rolling it out. Okay, it's about 1/8 of an inch thick now. It didn't cover the whole piece of parchment paper, but it's close. Now it says I'm supposed to remove the top piece of parchment paper carefully, which I did, and then transfer this whole thing to a baking sheet. Ta-da! Like that. Also, mine isn't like exactly rectangular, so these are going to be some funny shaped crackers. They won't be exactly square, all of them, but it's close. Now I'm supposed to use a pizza cutter to cut it into squares. I don't think I have a pizza cutter, but I do have a butter knife. So we're just going to cut this with a butter knife, and we're going to make them graham cracker-ish shaped. Okay, so they're not the most even, but they're cut. Now I'm going to prick the dough all over with a fork. Hold on, let me find a fork. They have been pricked. Here's how much I pricked them. I think it might have been too much. I got a little excited in the middle there. Oh no, now I'm supposed to chill the dough for 10 minutes. How am I gonna chill it? I don't have room in my fridge. Well, we'll see what happens. I managed to find space in the fridge, so we'll be back in 10 minutes after this dough has done its chilling. It's chilled for 10 minutes. Also, while we were gone, I decided to make a smoothie, so that's what this is. Now I'm supposed to put this into the oven for 15 minutes or until it is evenly brown, whatever that means. So here we go. They now look much browner than, where did I put the, oh here it is. They look much browner than they did like 2 minutes ago, so I'm going to pull it out because I don't want to burn them. Yikes! And then it says to immediately put it onto a cooling rack by just pulling the parchment paper over to the cooling rack. Please don't burn me. Please don't burn me. Please don't burn me. Please don't break. Oh dear, they're breaking. They've all broken. Oh boy. I don't know if they're supposed to be hard yet. Because they're definitely not hard, they're still soft, but they're evenly brown. Well, I'll just allow them to cool completely and we'll see what happens. Maybe I did this wrong. But they've already like cracked a bunch just by moving them, so oh well. Maybe they're really soft graham crackers. It is much later. Don't mind the dingling noise in the background. That's the ice cream truck sitting on our road. The graham crackers have cooled. I have to say they're a bit crumbly. And they pretty much just taste like pie crust. But I think that's my fault, not the recipe's fault, because I didn't roll it quite thin enough and I probably didn't cook it long enough. So we'll have to try them some more times to get graham crackers, but at this point we're going to have s'mores using pie crust. I'm not complaining. What is the verdict on the graham crackers? Do they taste okay? Yeah? Okay. Time for me to try. It has the graham cracker effect. I'd say it's a moderate success. Oh, there's a marshmallow. Someone has a marshmallow. I'll experiment more with the graham crackers, but I'd say they're a success. Go make them. Try it out. See if it works for you. And I'll see you on Monday.